falling asleep already. By the way, I'm going to be talking about turkey tonight, not the country. The kind of a chicken. The one some people eat. Any vegetarians? Sorry. I love turkey.
Sound is on.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I don't have a prayer book.
Oh, so sorry.
Is there one over there?
No.
No, you just start, Gina. I'll get myself a prayer book.
Sorry, I slipped up. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. And on page 128, Eile Chamda Libi, which is right at the bottom of the page. 128. Eile Chamda Libi, Hosanna ve'ana tetalem. Eile Chamda, Chamda Libi, Hosanna ve'ana tetalem. Eile Chamda, Chamda Libi, Hosanna ve'ana tetalem. Eile Chamda Libi, Hosanna ve'ana tetalem. Eile Chamda, Chamda Libi, Hosanna ve'ana tetalem. Eile Chamda, Chamda Libi, Hosanna ve'ana tetalem.
Yismachu Hashamayim on page 131. Towards the bottom of the page.
Yismachu Hashamayim, Yismachu Hashamayim, Yismachu Hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yismachu Hashamayim, Yismachu Hashamayim, Yismachu Hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yeram hayam, Yeram hayam, Yeram hayam, umelo. Yeram hayam, Yeram hayam, Yeram hayam, umelo. Yeram hayam, Yeram hayam, Yeram hayam, umelo. Yeram hayam, Yeram hayam, Yeram hayam, umelo.
So as we welcome Shabbat, and usually I share a reading on page 129, but I'm going to invite you not to turn to page 129, and I'm going to ask a series of questions as part of a meditation this evening. I'm going to ask you to reflect on what you did last Friday night, if you can remember. What you did last Saturday and Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, today. And to think about how difficult or how easy it was to bring each of those days to the present. Did it feel like the week was a blur? Or were there pivotal moments liminal moments that drew you into the sacred space of holiness during the week? Or was it just a rush to get to this moment, or even a rush to get here this evening? But it's entering into this evening that I'm going to ask you to take note of this evening, so that should you be asked the same question next week, you'll be able to say to yourself, because I won't put you on the spot, I remember Friday and Saturday and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, not perhaps in full detail, but perhaps in meaningful moments of a meaningful telephone call, conversation, a hug, a moment where we perhaps were helped or helped someone else. Because those are the moments that we remember, and those are the moments of Kedusha, and that brings us to community. Let us turn to page 134, to Zamru Ladonai, page 134. And Zamru Ladonai is the third line down.
Zamru Ladonai bechino, bechino v'kol zimra, b'chotzodrot v'kol shofar, הריעו לפני המלך אדוני, ירם הים ומלואו, תבל ויושביה, נהרות ימחה וכף, יחד הרים ירננו, לפני אדוני קיווה, קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, ועמים במישרים. ירם הים ומלואו, תבל ויושביה, נהרות ימחה וכף, יחד הרים ירננו.
We turn to page 138 for Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likat kala, yalala, 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likat kala, yalala, 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamo v'zacho b'dibur echad, ishmiyanu elam yochad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi likat kala, yalala, 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likat kala, yalala, 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki makor habracha, merosh mekedem nesucha, sof maaseh b'machashava techila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalala, 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalala, 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 pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orer kumi uri, uri, uri. פנייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה, 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 פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה, 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 פני שבת נקבלה.
We rise.
בואי ושלום עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה, 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 פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יללה, 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 פני שבת נקבלה.
And so as we welcome Shabbat with Lecha Dodi, I'd like to invite Judith Arkwright to light our Shabbat candles. And Judith, you're lighting these candles in memory of your aunt Anne Mendelssohn. And I know you'll also share a few words afterwards about her.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotov, v'tzivanu lahadlik neshel Shabbat.
Amen. Do you want to say a few words?
My aunt Anne Mendelssohn was born in Sheffield, England, and she was the oldest of 4 children. She came to Perth with her parents, which were my grandparents, when she was about 10 or 11 years old, and with her younger siblings. I had a lovely relationship with my Aunt Anne from when I was a small child until she died when she was about 85 years old. She was a highly intelligent and very cultured lady, very much into art and music, and was a regular attender at the symphony orchestral concerts. She was also secretary for a number of years to one of our past premiers, Sir Charles Court, who some of you may remember. She was a wonderful hostess and had a lot of friends. She also was a member of Temple David and came regularly to Shabbat morning services. I have very fond memories of my dear Aunt Anne, and this ring that I'm wearing today was bequeathed by my aunt to me, and I wear it with great affection.
Beautiful. Thank you. Let's also take a few moments now, as is our custom, turning to those around us, wishing each other a Shabbat Shalom, and we do cross the aisles here. So Judith. Shabbat Shalom, Jeffrey. So I would like to also do a special welcome to Temple David, to Todd and Sarah and Reva who are joining us. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. And we're going to, as we are seated, we turn to Shalom Aleichem on page 142. I would like to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional lands of the Wajak people of the Noongar Nation and pay my respects to elders past and present. And we've got quite a few people joining us online, and so I welcome everybody who is joining us online as well. From wherever you are, I can't tell where you are. You could be just around the corner in Dianella or anywhere in WA or across the world. So thank you for joining us as well. We have for those of you who don't know, we have quite a large online community as well. The camera's over there. If you're looking for the camera.
Above the door.
And it moves all around. It moves all around. We have the control, and it's all controlled by an iPad. And there I can look and see as well to see how many people are coming online and how long they've been online, and so all is telling. It's all through YouTube. But let us go to Shalom Aleichem on page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedrem LeShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Let us rise for the Chatzi Kaddish on page 144.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash me'raban, ve'alma divrach levotei v'yamlech malchotei, b'chol yechol u'yom echol, u'frei lechol beit Yisrael. Hagala, u'vizman kariv, ve'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabban mevorach, le'olam olam ha'amaya, yitbarach, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitbar v'yitruman v'yitnaseh, v'yitolol v'yitoleh v'yitolol, shmei l'kudsha b'rechu, le'ela min kol bechata v'shirata, tush bechata v'chemata, tamir amnema, v'imru amen. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach, Baruch Adonai hamevorach, hamevorach le'olam ha'ed, hamevorach, hamevorach le'olam ha'ed.
On page 148, the blessing that brings about the evening. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach sharim, ובתבונה משנה עתים ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולה אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נעשייה בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומן ולילה, נגי יומן ולילה. ואהבת אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד, שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
You may be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת.
On page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Our song of freedom, Micha Mocha, on page 158.
Lai 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 la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai 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 מי כמוך בעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אל, נורא תהילות אוסף אל, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
נאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. On page 160, a song of shelter and a song and a prayer of protection, Hashkivenu.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, ועמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, ועמידנו מלכנו לחיים.
ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ותקננו בעץ הטובה מלפניך, והושיענו למען שמך. והגן בעדנו, והסר מעלינו אויב, דבר, וחרב, ורעב, ויגון, ורחק ממנו עוון ופשע. ובצל כנפיך תסתירנו, כי אל שומרנו ומצילנו אתה. כי אל חנון ורחום אתה. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום, מעתה ועד עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו, ועל כל עמו ישראל, ועל ירושלים. On page 162, Vishamru, a song of Shabbat.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים, כי ששת ימים, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפוש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
On page 164 begins the Amidah, and of course the first three blessings we share out loud together, and then we continue silently with either the words on the page, the right-hand side or the left-hand side, or a combination. And then we'll come together with Oseh Shalom, but also it gives Gina and I an indication that you're finished with your prayers once you are seated. So if you plan to say remain standing for an hour, then we will remain standing for an hour and we will all go home late. So I will leave that to you. Page 164, we rise.
Adonai sefatateta ufia gitelatecha. Adonai sefatateta ufia gitelatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, Elyon, Komal Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zochei Chashtei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Gula Lifnei B'nehem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, ויסוד שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מצליח השמש ומוריד הצל. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא עולים, ומתי אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Va'al kol b'nei Adam, may God bring peace to the entire world, and let us say,
Amen.
Amen. My drash tonight, I feel like will be a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but it's actually going to be quite serious to some degree, but maybe not. The parasha this week, Re'eh, has all kinds of fun things in it, and not so fun things in, but it does have the laws of kashrut. And some of you have heard me speak about what it means to keep kosher, and I've sometimes spoken about ethical kashrut, to be considerate about what we eat. So, quick question, is chicken kosher as an animal? Yes, right? Not a trick question. That was not a trick question, friends. I throw a lot of trick questions out to the congregation. That one is not a trick question. Okay. Fish with scales, kosher. Animals that have cloven feet and chew the cud, kosher. What's wrong with a camel? What's that, Ken, Marion? It's got pads, but it chews the cud. What's wrong with a pig? It doesn't chew the cud, but it's got a cloven hoof. Right? So it says, look at me, but then it does the wrong thing in the mouth. Look at me, I'm kosher, but not really. So what's wrong with the turkey? What's wrong with the turkey? Absolutely nothing, according to Margaret. Or is there? For all of you turkey lovers, could you imagine what would happen in America if they heard me give this drash on Thanksgiving? All the Jews of America, oy vey, all 6 million of them, give or take. This would be, the turkeys would be smiling, gobble, gobble, gobble. I won't be gobbled. So what's wrong with turkey? Now you see, there's principles for all kinds of animals. You've got to chew the cud, you've got a cloven hoof, scales, fins, right? Principles. What's wrong? What about birds? The Torah lists 20 types of birds one is not permitted to eat, or permitted to eat. I always get confused. The turkey didn't factor into it. Why not? They didn't know about it. They didn't know from a turkey. When did the turkey make it to Europe? About the 16th century, early 17th century. The turkey made it to America, and guess what the rabbis said? No, they did not say it's a big chicken. They did not say this is a big chicken. They said, no, 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 you cannot have turkey. It is not kosher. Why not? Because it's not listed as a kosher food. So there are groups of Jews today who do not eat turkey and consider it as treif. But here's a little known or unknown fact. Jeffrey, you're the most recent person who's arrived from Israel. Did you know more turkey is eaten in Israel per capita of population? Did you know that? says nods the vegetarian from Israel. So what's going on here? How did Turkey, which was originally no, make the list? No, not because it's a big chicken. Gina, Margaret. No, you're not allowed to eat an emu because do chickens fly? Not very well. I know, my neighbour has chickens. Yes, my neighbour has chickens. They're very good at trying to torment my dog under the fence. True. No, so you cannot eat a bird of prey. What else? What's another category with a bird? A wild bird. Cannot be a wild bird. It has to be domesticated. So a turkey is not a bird of prey, or is it? Well, it doesn't matter if it's a carnivore. Is it a bird of... They didn't know. It was domesticated. What am I getting at, people? Rowan? Right, a turkey does fit all the categories, but it wasn't known. And so the rabbis were completely confused and didn't know what to do. So which caused the rabbis to be completely, when I talk about the rabbis, I'm talking about the rabbis of not so much the Middle Ages, post-Middle Ages, but not contemporary rabbis. So some rabbis said yes, some rabbis said no. Obviously the rabbis that said yes won out. They won. Why did they win? Because people wanted to eat turkey. But there are still Jews today who don't eat turkey because it isn't part of the approved list of animals, because they said it's not what God commanded. So what do we do with that? We are thinking Jews, are we not? What do we do with that? I don't know. It's nonsensical, isn't it? Because there are so many other things around the laws of kashrut that also don't make sense. Why can't we mix chicken and milk? Because chickens don't produce milk. Does that make sense? Why can't I have it when I have cheese with my chicken, or have a coffee with after my roast chicken?
I thought that was sort of to confuse people, because they might think chicken looked like meat.
Yeah, so it was about the concept of myriad iron, of making sure we do the right thing. It fits slowly into that category. First of all, we follow the laws of kashrut because it's about feeling part of community and being part of community. Not necessarily, nothing to do with health rules, but about feeling part of community and having this connection with community. But what it also says to me are that these rules were set for particular people at a particular time, which you've heard me say before, but they were also done, I don't want to go as far as to say arbitrarily, because that sounds too disrespectful. And my goal is not to be disrespectful. But in a way that may have made sense for people that may be lost on us today. For me, I am a meat eater. I do enjoy my meat. But it doesn't make sense to me why turkey, why chicken, why meat, why milk at times, other than for the fact of we're part of the Jewish people. But it's not under the laws of kashrut. Under the kosher laws, there's got to be a sense of what is right and what is wrong, what is ethical, and that's a whole different sermon. It can't just be carte blanche. We do this because God says. We've got to take in the ethical treatment of animals, the ethical treatment of the workers, and so forth. So turkey, for some, are kosher. For some, it's not. So does that give us the opportunity to arbitrarily pick and choose? What do you think about what we do? Do we pick and choose what we want to do? Sometimes we do, but we have to have reason. We have to be thoughtful about what we do. We don't just do it because we feel like it. It's about knowing what we do, why we do it, how we do it, the historical context, the cultural milieu in which we live, and does it constantly ask ourselves, and this is the progressive value behind it, is what we're doing giving us meaning? And does it elevate the way in which we live our life Jewishly? And if our answer is no, we say, why not? Not just, oh, okay, let's just throw it to the side. So if we have to constantly, and that's what makes being a progressive Jew so much more difficult, is because we have to constantly question, and when the answer is yes, we say, how can we make it more holy? And when the answer is no, why not, and how can we again? And so that's when thinking about this turkey, it's not just saying, well, this is just odd, and then trying to understand what was going on. So when next time you see a turkey, you won't be looking at it the same way, will you? So this could have been not kosher, and then you could have felt completely guilty about eating it. Shabbat Shalom. Now, was that not bizarre? Let us rise for Aleinu on page 586. And Reva, that's you coming up to open our ark with Todd and Sarah to join you. Come on up. Guess what? On the string, there's a green one, green tag, and a red tag.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוצק שמיים ויוצא את הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושרינת עוזו בגופי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי
name? Michael?
Yeah,
And it's Jackie, right?
Justin.
Justine. So we turn now to our Kadisha Tom on page 598. And we turn to our Shiva, the 7 days of mourning. And part of Shiva, we remember Neville Weiner and Julie Frey. And we also remember Selwyn Glenister, stepson of Margaret Glenister. Did you want to say anything at this stage? We'll leave it to another time, maybe. And for the Shloshim, we remember Sarah Bella, also known as Bella Green, daughter of Jeanette Bates, and Rebecca Natrop, cousin of Terry Boyd. We remember Greg Pence and Rita Sadiq, wife of Philip, and as also part of the Shloshim, we are still remembering Bev Silbert, wife of Barry, mother of Todd, Michael, and Justine, and Reva, your grandmother. And for yard sites, the anniversary of whose death fall on this Shabbat, we remember Beryl Mendel, aunt of Joanne Chenick, Minnie Silbert, grandmother of Hilary Silbert, and Mendelssohn, aunt of Judith Arkwright, Hannah Königsberg, mother of Patsy Königsberg, Esther Samuel, grandmother of Joanne Samuel Dawson, Tom Austin, father of Warren Austin, Lucretia Parker, mother of Dan Parker, Ronald Levinston, brother of Phyllis Rosenthal, Elaine Motta, aunt of David Motta, and John Tate, husband of Tony Tate and father of Frank Tate, father-in-law of Heather Tate, and grandfather of Alex, Olivia, and Jane Tate. And Morris Vickers, grandfather of Hilary Garnelis. If you'd like to remember a loved one for Shiva or for Shloshim, or if this is the yahrzeit of a loved one, please do share their names out loud or in your heart at this time. Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may the memory of the righteous be for a blessing as we join together in one voice, as is the custom at this congregation, in support of one another. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, v'yalmad divrach hiratei v'yamlich malchutei, chayachon of yom echon, v'vachayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'izman kariv v'immerur.
Amen.
Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevorach L'olam Olamei Almaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh V'yitada V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei D'Kodesha B'richu Le'elam Min Kol Berchata V'shirata Tushbachata V'nechamata Damiran B'yama V'yimmerur.
Amen.
Yehei Shlomo Rabbah Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'yal Kol Yisrael V'yimrur.
Amen.
Oseh Shalom B'imromav Uyaseh Shalom, Aleinu v'al Kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Hamakom yinachem etchem b'toch sha'ah havlei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved in Zion and Jerusalem and around the world. And we say,
Amen.
Amen. As we are seated, just a few announcements. TDRS, our religious school, begins tomorrow 9 a.m. as per usual, and then services at 10:30. Our coffee club, Flora on 10th, that's where it will be. 12:30 Monday Mahjong, and then Tuesday there is Yiddish club, and there will be a minyan for Daphne Margaret Rose Ryan, Charmaine's mother, at 6 o'clock, and followed by the High Holiday Choir rehearsal. And then on Wednesday, there will not be Israeli dancing. You're heading to Sydney, right, Margaret? But there is ITJ and Adult Hebrew, followed by the Adult B'nai Mitzvah group. Sunday the 13th, there is, on Monday, I do want to say Monday, there is The Voice. That's the Monday the 14th. The Voice at PHC at 7:30. Please do come along to that. I will be there and many members to hear. I think there are 4 speakers. So if you haven't signed up for that, please do go online and sign up to register just so that for security reasons, it's in Mahadash. So come along to that. And that's, again, 7:30. And then tomorrow night is Professor Gilad Zuckerman as part of Friends of Hebrew University. And our own Peter Winterton is president of Hebrew University. So that's an event he's putting on, Dr. Peter Winterton. He's the president. So, and the new chairs are upstairs. So if you want to come and know what the new chairs feel like, come to the event on Sunday night. David Motta sat in them and thought they were very comfortable. Our final song?
Ki Eshmera Shabbat, which is on page 634. Ki Eshmera Shabbat, El Yishmereini. Ki Eshmera Shabbat, El Yishmereini. Oti le'ol me'at beinu uveini. Oti le'ol me'at beinu uveini. Ki Eshmera Shabbat, El Yishmereini.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shalom.
Let's go out for Kiddush and for Motzi.